Woo-wee! We're still going. All right, what am I going to talk about now? Every part of this whole global structure of humanity we've created that doesn't work is dissolving. Some of it's collapsing. Dissolving's a nicer word. I want to talk to you about the next thing that we are lined up for. This has to go, and it's all good, and it has to do with your money, your career, your job. This is a big one because right now we still have a financial structure in place, but I want you to think about how you can prepare for the new earth in this manner and not go into it in fear. Are you ready to do that? Let's talk about money, career, quality of life in the new earth. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through the fear and live an amazing life. You know, I used to shoot a whole bunch of videos and I'd have like enough for a whole month. I can't do that anymore. I have a ton of videos sitting there that every day something amazing happens on the planet. When I say amazing, for me it's not scary. It's really stepping out of the matrix, and there's going to be some change that may be frightening to you only because you believe that. Now, as of this video, I have a class. It's actually workshops. I'm going to start workshops. Once you've taken a class, we're going to do workshops, conscious manifesting workshop. We're going to talk about that today in this video. What is conscious manifesting? That is when you realize that every thought is creating that. And this is the toughest thing we have, is we see that and we don't really relate to the fact that this is creating that. Conscious manifesting. If you want to take the course, go down in the description or go on landriaonkka.com. Join me, a 3-hour master workshop. But what are we going to talk about today? How does that apply to earning money, what you do for a living, because that's a biggie. Let's put aside all the other things that we are absolutely changing right now that's amazing. With racism, our health, how we handle each other even through the virus, and who knows what's to come with that. Animals, the spotlight's been on how have we treated our animals, and what are our products and services out there. Do we want to go back to that old world? Some people will. And how does this affect you in your career, your job? Not every job is a career. Some people are just working for money. They don't consider it something long term, but we find ourselves stuck in that. I know I was stuck in a career. Nobody's ever really stuck. But I found myself not knowing where to go from there. But I knew it wasn't right. It didn't resonate with me. So many people are feeling that. Why? We have been told to earn money, and how could you possibly come out of college and know what you want to do the rest of your life? And how many people have done something and then said, I didn't like this at all. I was studying to be an attorney, and I realized, oh my God, that's like so far from what I really wanted to do. You know, defending innocent people, but I found out that wasn't the case. Most of it was all really very corrupt. Same thing with politics. I worked on Capitol Hill and found out that it was just all a, take care of one another. And even the people that were very honest soon found themselves being sucked into the abyss. Why? Because you get spit out and you have to do what you can to make a difference and play with the others. That's all going away. We're saying no, but we have to do this in a very peaceful, calculated way. In other words, instead of battling this, we'll create this. And if you're not even looking at that, they're out in the field going, hey, here's my crap, here's my chemicals, buy them, here's my drugs, take them. Like, talk to the hand. By the way, somebody said, what's talk to the hand? I'm not paying attention. And that is conscious manifesting. All right, manifesting is what you're focusing on. So when we focus on the bad stuff, the stuff we don't desire, we are creating that. We are switching into that reality. We're fueling it. I promise you this is how it works. This is quantum physics. So whenever something's happening, you're watching it, you're arguing with each other, oh, now let's argue about a good cause. Is that the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard? I'm going to share a story with you because this is super important for us to start doing right now. This is going to go into money. This is going to go into career. This is all going to make sense. My neighbor's dog, who's a coonhound. Coons are really, really loud dogs. It sounds like, somebody's dying. Attacked my other neighbor's dog, who's a little fluffy thing. And so it sounded like somebody was getting killed. So I went out on my deck and saw this crazy thing going on. And this man with a little baby. A few minutes later, he comes up and knocks on my door. He thought this was where my neighbor was living. And said, I'm so sorry. And, my dog was in an accident yesterday and she's behaving really odd, and I thought maybe if she went for a walk it'd be okay, and she went ballistic, and I wanted to apologize. I said, well, that's my neighbor next door. And he was like emotional. He was crying because his dog had gotten injured in this, they'd gotten in an accident in the car and the dog had hit its head and whatever. When you see something happening, and we're gonna go deep into this today. When you see something happening, we make all of these decisions and we know nothing. We don't know about that person. We don't know about the person who's inflicting the pain, or even if that's really even going on. When I saw that, all I saw, and I heard it, it sounded terrible, and it looked like an irresponsible dog owner who had lost control of his dog on our property, by the way. That's a private street I'm on. Nobody's supposed to be even back there. He doesn't live on my street. And walking his dog with a little baby. He's got a little toddler with him, which looked really irresponsible. And he's screaming at this dog. It looked really bad. When I got to communicate with him, that whole situation changed. And I saw that this was a very loving, responsible father who loved his dog and who had a traumatic accident the day before. He was still traumatized by it. He felt really bad that the dog had hit his head on the windshield, actually cracked the windshield. He's trying to, take the dog out, loses control. Felt so bad and came over and talked to him. If we don't start doing this with one another, we will never become one. When we distance each other, and this is where the internet becomes a problem. It becomes a challenge for us. There's never really a problem. It's a challenge when you are here, seeing this and not becoming one, talking to one another. All right? I want you to understand something. Everybody's coming from their own conditioning. Everyone is coming from a place of what they believe reality is. When you go into an office and you have people that don't treat you well, there is a succession of events and things that happen, and a conditioning of everyone. And this happens with race. And even those people who are racist come from a distorted conditioning that goes and goes and goes. Now, I'm going to have a whole video. I do a lot of videos on that. But why I'm telling you this right now is because I want you to start looking at everything around you that way if you choose to go into a higher frequency, because that's going to help you understand that there's something behind everything that's going to make more sense when we start communicating with each other. And it's centuries of conditioning and lower frequencies. It's control and power. And so all of these people who've been conditioned to create things that are not good for our planet, to do certain things that put money and power first, it trickles down, and the conditioning and the power places people in a position to just survive. All right? This goes way back. All of the institutions in place right now that employ people are centuries of conditioning of egos trying to take care of themselves. Separation. Do not go into that. When you go in and you battle it, you're battling centuries of conditioning. You cannot battle that. You will only fuel it. What's the solution? If you are in a position right now where you're not seeing everybody as just students who have brought all this conditioning forward, and some are so ignorant, and I don't mean that in a, condescending. Ignorance is just not truly grasping and knowing. You're not ignorant because you have way too much information. Ignorance is when you've been isolated, or you don't know, or you have not really learned something, and so you just genuinely are not connected to what's going on out there that's possible, right? Ignorance is bliss, right? You don't even know. You know now. What are you going to do? You can no longer function in the centuries of conditioning, seeing it and blaming it anymore. We now know that that boss that comes to work that doesn't treat you well is the same light being that you are, not separate from you. It's an expression and a conditioning, possibly even in ignorance, that is expressing itself in a negative way. It is not about you. It's always about them. And everything that's going on out there that's negative, it's about them. And that's what's separating us. The boss, the money, the power, it's always about them. They're functioning about them. We must stop that and function out here from in here. This is creating this. When you blame and you stay in it, you are part of the density. What are you doing right now that you know you need to get out of to change the planet? You can no longer blame that. You can no longer blame it. It all boils down to somebody, somewhere, who, when you actually communicate with them, you'll realize where it comes from. And that they're beautiful light beings no matter what. Gone into density. You are responsible for creating the new earth, shifting into the new earth, and no longer fueling it. They're the problem. They're not the problem. We're the problem for continuing to stay in it. So you cannot complain if you continue to go to something that is wrong for you, the planet, lower density. There's no such thing as wrong. I use these words just as a human communicating, but the truth is, no one makes a mistake. But we have choice, and we want to choose something higher. We're going into the next phase. When we've gone into separation, taking a look at that, saying no more. And that's everybody. I'm not even talking about color. I'm talking about sex or lifestyle choices. I'm talking about all of it, because that's really what it's coming down to. It's just not about this one incident. It's much bigger. It's global. It's not happening just in the United States, my friend. It's happening everywhere. Are you going to create something new? Are you going to start communicating with your neighbor, your planet, nature, your animals? Are you going to start communicating? It's real easy to sit back here on the internet and attack everything. The chemicals, the this, the farms, the this, that. This just creates this. Arguing with each other, that is what lower frequencies want. Get them going. In fact, a lot of that's going on to fuel it. Let's fuel it. And you guys are, right? Don't fall for that. You don't know what it's like. You don't know what it's like. You have this. You don't know anybody. You do not know that person. Because if you actually communicated with anybody out there, you'd realize there's something beautiful behind that. And that they're just not acting on their highest frequency. But you can. So all of those people in those businesses, they feel like they can't, leave. If you're buying from those businesses, you're keeping them in that situation because they don't see any options to get out of it. They know they're working for a company that's destroying the planet or is bad for people, but they won't leave it. Why? Because we're buying their stuff. We're buying the stuff up here, and all those people employed down here are going to stay there. So if you want to be the higher frequency, you cannot blame them. What are you doing? It starts with what you're purchasing, what you're putting in your body, in your house, how you treat animals. Everything counts now. We're going into it big time right now. We're going to see this shift major league. Get ready. We're going to have pauses and we're going to go into more and more and more stuff. And then by the time I post this video, who knows what else is happening out there. Last night we had more riots here in Atlanta. This is going to be old news. Why? It's got to stop. What are you doing for a living? How are you going to change that if you know it's wrong? If it's not good here. Now, I was an investment banker for 25 years. How do you get out of that? Where do we go from there? I knew what to do. I put my hands in the universal higher frequency. I moved past fear. And if you tell me, well, I can't do that. I have to pay my bills. I'll be unemployed. It's a load of crap. And you know it. You have to do the work. And change is going to be uncomfortable. But a lot of you just don't want to change because it's easy to get that paycheck and just survive. Is that what you want at the end of the day? Do you want to end your life, your experience here, that you can never go back and experience this again? You're going to go off to something else. And what that energy that you create here and those opportunities you left on the table, you're going to have to go through them again. If you don't want to come back here, get it right. It's everything. We cannot blame the world or the structures because we're fueling it if we're putting our attention there. You are creating separation in every area of your life if you're on there arguing with anybody. Anybody. And by the way, most of them, I noticed they don't have a picture or they have a picture of something else and they have some fake name. Yeah. If you were standing right in front of me, would you say whatever to my face? Probably not if it was nasty. But 99.9% of the people on my channel say amazing things. Amazing things. Even if they're going through stuff, they share that. It's always welcome. But there's going to be stuff out there you're going to have to deal with. And it's going to challenge you. Some people say, well, what do I do about those people? I said, there you go. There's your test. If you cannot deal with that, then you're not going up into that high frequency in the new earth. The new earth knows how to deal with all of that. Somebody said there will be no illness in the fifth dimension. I don't know. Sometimes illness or handicaps are gifts. So there might be. Some people say, this is my gift. It's allowed me to be something amazing. We all have those rules. It's okay. This is what Earth is doing for us, giving us experiences. What are you doing for a living that has to change? And by the way, most of you who say that I can't quit my job, most of you aren't even making very good money. You're struggling anyways. I got big hair again. Okay, so what are you going to do about it? First of all, this is not for everybody, but this is my internet marketing courses. We have people that are learning how to create and own their own businesses. This is just one of many things I'm going to suggest to you. And it's training and new skills. Because if you don't have the skills to change your life, then you have to get the skills. And it's fun. You actually learn something new that's not all that easy. Why? Because, serious businesses, it takes your training and effort to implement it, and you will not be alone. This is a free workshop that talks about what it is so you can decide if it's for you. How do you create a business selling products that are good for the planet? Somebody said that they have candles and something else. How do I sell that? And I said, come on over. We'll show you how to sell it and be super successful at it. Make a difference on the planet and do good things for other people. People are going to buy that stuff? I'll buy it from you. If it's all natural, organic, and it's good for the planet, I'll buy it. All right. Somebody else is importing goods from Italy that have no chemicals and treat their animals well. And then we have coaches. We have people doing online yoga classes. And then we have people doing affiliate marketing. They don't have their own products and services. So what do? They promote other people's stuff. We're helping each other find the tools to make the change. So those of you who are stuck in, oh, you're selling this and that, what are you doing to make a living? Is it good for the planet? Is it good for you? Are you enjoying your job? Are you flourishing? Are you abundant? I think you should look at you instead of what other people are doing and say, is what I'm doing for a living right now in the financial world? Wouldn't it be great if we just had exchange? That'd be cool. That's coming. But for now, as long as there's a monetary system that we live under, we can use that in an amazing positive way. So I'm going to allow people to take my courses, which you guys know that, at a fraction of the price of what my other teachers out there charge, and allow myself to pay for all of this, do some good things, and change people's lives. You can do the same thing. But we separate that. Well, I'm going over here, and by the way, my plant that I work in is spewing chemicals up. And then you shouldn't be charging to do good things. And we do that in our heart. Why? Because we've been taught that, because it's power over us. It's keeping the really good high-frequency people broke. Not anymore. Abundance flows. There is no lack of abundance. There's no lack of abundance. It's okay. It's okay. And so get out of that conditioning. Oh, it's okay to do some crappy stuff for a living that I can't stand, that makes me sick, that keeps me from my family and gives me a heart attack, right? Struggling. Oh, that's okay. Serving, food loaded with chemicals to people. That's okay. Let's get out of this conditioning. It's tough to get out of that conditioning. So when you understand that there are no enemies out there, like I said, when you really talk to somebody and you find out we're all just a part of the conditioning and our own view of what the world is. They're bad, they said this, and we separation. If you are pointing the finger at anybody, separation, you're not understanding why you're here. Everybody's beautiful and perfect, and all human beings are students, master students, but we all get choice. And we are not here to point the finger at anybody else who's not making higher choices. Because you'll go into a world, a new earth, where you won't even be aware of a lot of that. Because you're not in that frequency, and you're in a higher frequency, you're still a human being. And you're going to notice your world changing, you're going to flourish, you're going to be happier, you're going to have opportunities come to you so that you can work in fields that are amazing, healing, or, like I said, promoting products that are good so that we can put them over here with no business, that because we're not buying their stuff, and they will flourish because now all those people are going to have to make higher choices. That's how it works. We don't have to protest anything over here or be mad at our boss. Those are beautiful people. So if you want to be the higher frequency, say, okay, how do I help all these people who are making low frequencies choices? People say, we have to tolerate the lower frequencies. I said, no. You can help all of them by everything that you purchase. You're powerful beyond your imagination. So what purchases are you making? Is it inconvenience for you to put the Cheetos down? Stop buying stuff in containers that pollute the planet, that are not recyclable. I fill my water in glass bottles and PBA bottles that are I keep refilling and refilling. I don't buy more water in a bunch of plastic. I realized that's leaching into my water, and I'm putting more recyclable crap out there. This much effort on your part is going to change how we work, how we earn. So come on over if you want to check this out, get new skills. What do you want to do for a living? Go find the answers. Go find out how you can do it and flourish. It is possible. Artists, music. We have artists and musicians coming over, learning this. They're becoming business people, and they're still getting to share amazing things with the world. So don't tell me that you can't, because I know you have no limits. When I quit my 25-year investment banking career, I felt like a load, a ton was released from my chest. That heaviness in your heart, you know, you will feel like a new person, even if it's a little scary. That's why we break through fear. It's there, but it doesn't control us anymore, because you know what? This is my life. I need to love my life. I should love my life. Do you? If you don't, what are you going to do to change it? It's time. I'm sorry. No excuses. But no buts on my channel. So, another spiritual butt kick. That book's coming out this year too. Spiritual butt kick. What is it? We're not tolerating the excuses anymore. We spiritually know that we are unlimited light beings. We know that everything counts. We know that our thoughts and our judgments of one another, trying to argue about what's good for the planet, is ridiculous. That's low frequency. We're moving past that. We're moving past arguing with one another. Please stop the arguing. Please stop getting on those platforms. A lot of the people on there are purposely getting you involved and going to a low frequency. It's true. And you're not wrapping your head around it sometimes, right? That person you're talking to isn't even a real person. There are bots out there putting things out. If anything out there is of a negative nature, why would you listen to it? And why would you create that negativity? Why would you argue with anybody? If you come to my channel, that is by your choice. And by your choice, you can leave it if it's not for you. We're not here to debate anything. And I'm not here to tell you how you should think and feel. I've had people ask me, you know, what about taking these mandatory vaccines? Take it? Don't. I'm not here to tell you what to do. Everything's your choice in your life. First of all, has it happened? No. When it happens, let's talk about it. We're so busy projecting negativity. Negativity, what about this? What freaking comet could hit us tomorrow? We know every day I shoot one of these things, something happens. And I'm posting stuff I shot months ago that talked about this. If you guys have seen that, and I posted it, I went, whoa, okay, that came to pass. You're controlling the future right now. Absolutely everything. Come take my class, Conscious Manifesting Workshop. You can sign up. As of this video, it is you'll be able to participate in the live one. Everybody gets to see this for 1 year unlimited, whether you're in the live class or the recording. You get this for 1 year unlimited, and it's a workshop. This is going to be powerful. 3 hours I spend with you. And so I suggest you take one of my other courses, master class, before you come into the workshops, because we're not going to go through the master class. We're going to take this information, that these lessons, and we're going to implement them. What are you going to do right now with what you're doing for a living, how you're earning? You could do amazing things and be so happy, even if you took a pay cut like I did. If you took a pay cut to do something you love, and you became super happy, and then abundance starts to flow. Abundance flows. Everything comes to you. And then you start to manifest on a super high level. You have to make some choices right now, my friend. And stop talking yourself out of things. This isn't for me. This doesn't work. I can't. Or I'm in a bad place. Yeah, you're in a bad place because you're allowing yourself to fuel the negativity of what's going on out there, and you're telling yourself a story. That changes today. You ready for that? It changes today. So, you can earn money in so many different ways. Online is an amazing way to do it. If it's not with our training, there's so many other ways for you to do it. Make sure you do it properly, or else you'll be struggling again, trying to make money. We don't make money here. We change the way we live and work. We actually shift into something we love. This is not about just making money online. We actually learn how to set goals for our life, our lifestyle, our passion, what we love, our ethics, our morals, That is the first thing you do when you become a student here. Why? Because everything after that has to support that. Because if you're chasing money and you're selling stuff and you're doing stuff that's bad for yourself or the planet, it doesn't work. This is a highly spiritual community. Not in your face, but it is accountable. And everybody in it cares, and it's amazing. Get creative. You have to go into creativity, because your soul will just shrivel up, your DNA will curl up if you don't go into that creative, amazing space. So, start making some choices, and don't tell me you don't know what to do. You seek and ye shall find. Seek and ye shall find. There's nothing you can't do. I'm not going to listen to the limitations anymore. There's always an answer. And we are one. We must assist one another, and we're all here as a community. Let's work as a community. And if you're in a community that's arguing with each other, then you have to decide if that's serving yourself or the planet. And if you're done with that, come on over to those of us who are creating the new earth, who are shifting into it, and not looking over here. Talk to the hand. I love you. You're unconditionally loved. You're so amazing. My heart is so full of joy and happiness. And I look at you and I think, oh, you're so perfect and powerful and amazing. Do you know this? It's all waiting for you. It doesn't matter who you are as a human being or what you've been through. In fact, the more you've been through, the more challenges. Yay, master student, thank you. You're whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Please subscribe. Please share these videos. And by the way, some of you said that you were unsubscribed. I don't know what YouTube does, but every so often they clear out anybody who has been inactive for a certain period of time. I don't know why they do that. And they clear out certain videos and stuff, and then you'll see it all come back on. I don't know what that is, but I do know that they go through and they cull subscribers that are just sitting there not doing anything. So please stay active on my channel. Please share the videos. I want to reach 1 million subscribers. I've reached tens of millions of viewers, but I would like subscribers, people that are saying we are part of the new earth. We are part of the positive movement, and we are not going to participate in anything that creates separation, hate, frustration, anxiety, anger. That's not the earth we're living in, right? Welcome to the new earth, my friend. Blessings and awakening to you. Namaste.